Hello everybody, Catweazle here. Welcome back to Darkest Night, turn 4. Okay, cock-ups from last episode. It was the darkness track. When we did get it back to 0, but on the Necromancer's turn, I should have obviously popped it up 1. So we're on 1. The darkness is on 1. But I think that's about it for errors, which makes a nice change. Okay. What are we going to do? Well, we've got Cassandra is with the Necromancer in the village. We're going to have to move her out and hopefully draw the Necromancer with us. We've got Rathymnon. He's in the castle. He's looking for some of his scrolls. Hopefully get a few more powers. We've got Prioris. He's in the swamp. He's looking for an epiphany. And Talon, the rogue. He is looking for more mysteries, hoping to get some keys, he's hoping to do the treasure hunt and hopefully get us up and running with the clues. So let's kick off. Our first person is going to be Cassandra. She's going to be the first player, so let's flip her over onto the moon side. First things first, she is with the Necromancer, so she loses 1 secrecy. She goes down to 2. She doesn't have a holy relic, so she doesn't lose a secrecy. She's got no start of turn instructions on any of her power cards, and she's not in the monastery. That means we get an event. So let's have a look at what we get. Sleeping pollen. Refresh all your powers. Spend 1 secrecy or draw 2 more events. Oof. Well, we can't refresh her powers because none need refreshing, which is annoying. Spend 1 secrecy, I'll draw 2 more events. I don't want 2 more events. So she's going to go down to 1 secrecy. Not too bad because we want to move her anyway. But nasty. Not as good as it could have been. On another character like Rathymnon or on Prioris, we'd have been able to refresh some powers. But not on Cassandra. Right, so Cassandra's done her event, so she's now going to move. So she moves to the mountains. That does get her that secrecy back, so she goes back up to 2. So she's in the mountains, and that's the end of her action phase. There are no blights, so she doesn't have to do anything else. So that's it for Cassandra. And here we are next with Rathymnon. Okay, what's Rathymnon going to do? Well, first of all, he's not with the Necromancer, so he's not going to lose a secrecy. He's not carrying a relic. And he's got no start of turn instructions on his power cards. He's not in the monastery, so that means he gets an event. Black Banner. That doesn't sound too promising. Count the blights in your location. Well, we've got 1. Flux Cage. So that means the undead archer is still wandering around. So we've got to try and elude it. We do have invisibility already active though. So that means we will get 3 dice. So let's move that down so we can see it. It's +2 because of invisibility on top of his normal die. And he does it. What a star. Starman. So manages to give the archer the slip. Good. And now he can get on with his action. And his action is going to be to search. So let's see. A 1. Rubbish. The search difficulty was 2 as well, and he got a 1. How pants is that? So, wasted turn from Rathymnon. Bummer. Right, Flux Cage, end of his turn. We don't have to defend against Flux Cage or anything, so that's that. And we can now move on to Prioris. And here we are with Prioris. Okay, what's he going to do? Well, there's no Necromancer, no Holy Relic, there's no start of turn instructions, so skip the Monastery, so we get an event card. Let's have a look. Ooh, Dead Servant. We've had one of these, haven't we? Compared to Secrecy. Well, Secrecy is 5, so that's a scout. We can't defend against it, we've got to elude it, but he does have Sanctuary. So with Sanctuary he gets 4 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4. If he succeeds he'll have to lose a Secrecy. He does succeed, he gets a 6. Well, he succeeds twice because he got a 4 as well. So, oh no, it was a 5. Got a 6. He did succeed. So he loses a Secrecy. That takes him down to 4 Secrecy. Managed to avoid the Dead Servant. And now it is his action, and he too is going to search. The search difficulty is 4. And he gets a 6. Woo! Right, so let's get the map card. And he gets, yes! An Epiphany in the swamp. Groovy. Right, so he gets to look through all his power cards and pick one. Let's just get them. Where are they? Here they are. Right, so let's have a look through all these. Blessing of Wisdom. An action. We can activate on a hero in our location, and that'll give +1 die when eluding. Right. The next one, a Blessing of Strength. Again, activate on a hero in your location, and in this case it's +1 die in fights. Makes sense. Censure. Tactic. Fight with 2 dice. Could be useful. And Blessing of Faith. Action, activate a hero in your location, and this time it's the grace up to default when praying. Okay, but that's in your location as well, so cool. Next one, another blessing, this time of piety. Activate a hero in your location, gain 1 grace when hiding. And then we've got calm. Bonus, heroes at your location may pray. You know, that's pretty good, because when you pray you get a grace, and on a 3+ you can refresh your powers. So let's put that to one side, that seems quite a good one. And the last one, oh, miracle. Bonus, spend 1 grace to re-roll any die roll you make. You may do this repeatedly. Well, no wonder it's called miracle. Yes, that's just a bit. Calm was good, but miracle seems stronger. So yeah, we're going to take miracle. And but in going through the deck like we did to have a look what we wanted, that calm's pretty good as well. So if we get another epiphany, I'll certainly look to get that. Right, we've got to shuffle these. Right, so there we go. Oh, good stuff. Prioris, good man. But now he's got to go again, because these raids, it's the end of his turn, so he does have to defend against these wraiths. So he can either defend or elude. He's going to elude because he has the funky Sanctuary. So that's 4 dice. He will, although we've used it already, it is a tactic, and you are allowed to use a tactic each combat. It's not once per turn, so he can use it again. So he's going to use his 4 dice. Will lose another Secrecy if he succeeds, but I think it's well worth And yes, he does it. He needed a 4. He's got 3 successes. So I think it was a 4 to elude, wasn't it? Yep, a 4 to elude. So he's give those a slip. Excellent. But he does lose another secrecy, so he's down to 3. And that's the end of his turn. Okay. That means that next up is Talon the Rogue. Okay, here we are with Talon. Let's take that. Let's get rid of that. Discard it. Talon the Rogue. Okay, what's he going to do? No Necromancer, no Holy Relic, no start of turn instructions, and he's not in the monastery, so it's an event. Dark Scrying. Spend a grace or lose 2 secrecy. I think he will spend the grace. Yeah, he'll go down to 3 grace. I don't want him to lose secrecy because one, he uses his secrecy for his eavesdrop, and I don't want him like tangling with anyone. I want him to concentrate on searching, so we'll lose that grace. He's still got 3 grace, so that's not too bad. So we'll keep that. Right. No problemo. So now he is on his action, and unsurprisingly he's going to search, but he's also going to eavesdrop. So this is his action that he's going to use. Spend 1 secrecy, and he's going to use 2 dice to search. So his secrecy has gone down to 5, and he'll get 2 dice to search. Yay! What did we have to get in the ruins? We had to get a 4. So he's actually got 2 cards. He can look at 2 cards, which is good, because hopefully one will have a key on, but also we have the treasure hunt. So if a 5+ is rolled while searching here, +3 clues. So we'll do this first. Well, we'll leave that to the end. We know we've got +3 clues. First of all, we'll get his 2 map cards for his 2 successes. So let's whiz them over. The ruins. A revelation. What's a revelation when it's at home? Ooh, a revelation is gain 3 clues. Well, looks like it's going to be that baby. Or a key. Ooh, a key would be a map card. Would the map card... No, we're going to take the clues in the hand. So we'll discard that one. We're going to take this one, the revelation, which is a definite 3 clues. So let's move that up. 1, 2, 3. That puts us up to 4 clues. So get rid of that. That's good. Then what we do is we get 3 clues for that 5+. So we move it along another 3. 1, 2, 3, and we're up to 7 clues already. Fantastic. Talon, you the man. But we've got to draw another map card because it's got to move. So re-randomise this card's location. Oh, hang on. Don't use the map card. I think we've got to roll a die, haven't we? Do we roll a die from sort of the centre of the village? Let me just check that. Yes, we do the village thing. It's just on here, whereabouts. If the location is listed as random, determine its location by rolling a die and comparing it to the Necromancer's movement arrows printed on the map in the village. Right, so we just do the same as we did right at the beginning when we got this card. So, oop. So roll it from the village. We could have done with a 2, which would have put it back in the ruins, but unfortunately not. We've got a 4. That's a 3. Ooh, that takes it up to the castle, which is just as good. Let's whiz it up here. So it's in the castle. That is great. Absolutely great news that that's in the castle. Fabulous. Right, that's the end of Talon's turn. And what a turn it was. Wow, you're the man. I don't think the unholy aura. No, we don't have to elude or defend from it. That's fine. So that's the end of his turn. Brilliant. Okay, what's next? It is the Necromancer. Oh, hang on. He had to spend a secrecy. I think I spent it. I'll check that. I think I spent it. He's on 5. I think I spent it. I'll check that in the editing. Okay, so now it's the Necromancer's turn. Back with the Necromancer. Here he is in the village. So he's got to roll his die. A 6. That's okay. We wanted him to get a high roll because we do want him to follow Cassandra. We don't want him like zooming off into one of these areas. We do want Cassandra leading him a merry chase. So he's going to move up here. And we're also going to move the darkness track on 1. Remember it this time. So he's gone to the mountains following Cassandra. And what does he do once he's in the mountains? Well, he does what he always does. And he puts a blight down. So let's have a look at the map. Mountains. Another stigma. Ooh. Are these cumulative? He asks. No, it's just... If it's cumulative, everybody's default grace is like pretty much 0. But a stigma it is, so on it goes. In that case, we might have to... we'll definitely have to try and kill one, I think. Well, destroy one. Don't think it's particularly alive. So we've got a stigma there. I'll check whether that's cumulative. Okay. So that is the end of the Necromancer's go. And what I'll do is I'll go away and upload this and then come back with a short turn review. See you in a bit. Right, here we are at the turn review. Okay, what happened? Well, our first player was Cassandra. What Cassandra did was, first of all, she lost the secrecy, and then she had to draw an event, which was sleeping pollen. Unfortunately, she had no powers to refresh, which is a bit of a bummer. And she had to spend a secrecy or draw 2 more events. So she spent another secrecy and went down to 1. And then what she did was she popped across to the mountains, so she got a secrecy back. So she went back up to 2. Once she was there, she didn't have to deal with a blight because there wasn't one. So that was just basically the end of her turn. So next up after her was Rathymnon. And what Rathymnon did was he stayed in the castle. He had invisibility. It was already active, which helped him out when the undead archer was doing his rounds of the castle, and he was able to elude the archer. So that was pretty good. What wasn't so good was his action, which was to search, and he failed, which, considering he only had to get a 2 or better, was pretty bad. He rolled a 1 and failed in his search, so not too good. Needs his glasses, he does. And that was the end of his turn. He didn't have to defend against a blight because it was a flux cage, so he's fine. He finished his turn. Then after him it was Priorus, and Prioris was in the swamp, and he ran into a dead servant. His secrecy was 5 at the time, and what he did was he rolled on Sanctuary, got 5+. He did lose a secrecy. Thinking about it, to be honest, I could have failed that and still lost a secrecy. So there was no use rolling really. But, you know, thematically, he would have used his Sanctuary. He wouldn't have just like stood there, would he? And the end result's just the same. So, used Sanctuary and he lost a secrecy. Went down to 4, which was a bit grim. Right, what happened after that? Well, after that, he did a search and he got an epiphany. Woo! So he was able to have a look through the deck and he got the rather funky Miracle, which means he can spend a grace to do any sort of reroll that he likes, which is really, really good. So really pleased with that. We also, when we look through the deck, there's also another nice one called Calm. So if we get a chance, we might try and get that one as well. And then at the end of his turn, what happened was he had to elude the wraiths. So he used Sanctuary again. So he's lost another secrecy and went down to 3 secrecy. So he was successful, so he lost that secrecy. So he's still in the swamp, but he had a good turn. He got himself a really good power. And our final player was Talon, the rogue. What a star he was. First of all, he stayed in the ruins and drew an event card, which was Dark Scrying. So the Necromancer was using his dark magic to try and find him. So he had to spend a grace to avoid losing 2 secrecy. But as I said at the time, we don't mind that, we want to keep his secrecy fairly high. So we did that. He lost a grace, he's gone down to 3 grace. And then what happened was he did his eavesdrop. So he spent another secrecy. So he's on 3, isn't he? Yeah, he's on 3. Yeah, that's what happened. I was like that. And I assumed it was on 6, but it wasn't. It was on 5. So he lost a secrecy through the event, and he lost another secrecy when he eavesdropped, so he's on 3. So, sorted that out now. Okay, so he was on 3, did his eavesdrop, he was successful, rolling his 2 dice, so he got 2 map cards. One of his rolls was a 5, which meant that he succeeded at the treasure hunt as well. He got I think it was a revelation and a key. So he chose the revelation rather than the mystery card. 3 clues seems really good. We might not have got 3 clues on the mystery card, so I went for the revelation. So that's 3 clues. The clues went up to 4. He got 3 for the treasure hunt and he got 3 for the revelation. So a total of 6. So put us up to 7. So that was really cool. Great stuff. Got up to 7. And at the end of his turn, he only had an Unholy Aura Blight, so he didn't have to do any defending or anything. Then it was the Necromancer's go. The Necromancer got a 6, and obviously he was following Cassandra, who's only had 2 secrecy. So he's popped up to the mountains, drew a Blight, and it was Stigma. I have checked the cumulative Blight situation. From what I could find, the only example I could find was Curse. And apparently that is cumulative. And so Stigma, in a similar way, is cumulative. If it was Confusion, though, Confusion says, like, you can't use any skills on that spot. If you got 2 Confusions on the same spot, then obviously, you know, you can't do that twice. But that's just the nature of what the detriment is. On Stigma, Curse, something like that, then it does stack. The reason they stack all over the board, Stigma, is because it's -2 default, and it actually says for Stigma it applies to all locations. So all locations we've got -4 default grace. So I really think we're going to have to get rid of those, because they're a menace now. Okay, right, so that was the end of the turn. What we're going to do next turn? Well, I think the plan for next turn is what we are going to do, who's going to go first? Let's flip the tokens over. Ready anyway, so everybody's going on to Sunshine. Who's going to go first? I think Cassandra's going to go first again, and what she's going to do is she's going to use her hard ride ability. She can move twice but gain no secrecy, but that's fine. We want her on 2 secrecy because we want the Necromancer to be following her around. She's going to use hard ride, which means she can go 2 spots. So she's going to ride to the ruins, which is right on the other corner of the board. That means the Necromancer won't be able to get to her. It does mean though that the Necromancer will finish probably in the village, which is another blight, and that'll be 4 blights in the village. But hopefully we'll be able to get rid of one of those, and it won't be a problem, because the Necromancer will move again next turn into the ruins if we keep Cassandra there. So after Cassandra, who's going to go? We will have Rathymnon go again, and he's going to do the same thing, except this time he's going to try and search properly. So hopefully he will get a power next turn, doubly so because he's now got treasure hunt at the castle. So if he manages to roll a 5 or a 6, he will get 3 clues off treasure hunt, which would also be very useful. After him we'll have Priorus in the swamp, and I think what Prioris may do, I am tempted to keep him in the swamp as well. I may keep him in the swamp just for another epiphany. Yeah, in fact I probably will do that. I'll move him to a castle at a later stage if Rathymnon's obviously can't find his glasses. So that'll leave Talon. What'll Talon do? Well, I'm going to leave him in the ruins because there's a good chance of finding keys, which is another mystery card. And seeing as we're up at 7 on the clues, I'd like to get a few more clues, get it to 10, and then we can pick up a relic, which would be excellent. And then we're doing really well, and we can see to sorting the Necromancer out. So yeah, I think that's what we'll do next turn. But anybody else got any better ideas? Let me know in the comments, and I shall certainly take them on board. So I hope you enjoyed that episode. Again, if I've made any mistakes, please do point them out, and I'll try and catch them before the next episode. I think I've got Talon's secrecy right. Yeah, I think he started on 5, so he should be on 3. Right, okay. Oh, and if anybody knows about the stigma stacking, I think it does stack, but let me know if it doesn't. Okay, so thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for the subscriptions and all the views and the comments and the tips. Very much appreciated as always. I hope you join me for turn 5 of Darkest Night. Until then, this is me, Catweazle, signing off. Toodaloo.